In this video, I'm going to talk about a company whose share price rose by 500% from 2022 to 2024, but it's fallen by 52% since 2024. However, I think this company is more interesting now than it was back in 22 or 24, and it's hitting record revenue and record profits, so it's now a good value play. Previously, I thought it was a bit overvalued, but it's worth looking at right now. The content of this video should not be regarded as investment advice. It is for information purposes only. Please do your own research or seek the advice from a regulated financial advisor. That company is Warpaint London, ticker W7L. What do? Warpaint sells high-quality, branded, affordable cosmetics, health and beauty and personal care products, mostly through large retailers in Europe, UK, US and globally. So here's some of the numbers. At £3.18 a share, they've got a market capitalisation of 256 million, enterprise value of 235, 2024 full year revenues 101 million, pre-tax profit of 24 million. They've got no debt, and at the 31st of December 2024, they had 21.8 million in cash. The latest bit of news they released was an AGM statement on the 17th of August. Now they said sales for financial year 25 to be heavily second half weighted. Now any investor knows, that's not normally a positive statement. It suggests H1 did not perform and we're going to do well in H2. That's what you hear a lot of companies say. Now, the results for H1 are expected to be released on the 16th to 17th of December. Now, let's look at the results for H1. H1 2025, they're going to be doing 50 to 52 million in revenue. This is versus H1 24 of 45.9. So you're going to have growth here between 9 and 13%. But let's go back to this growth statement. They say H2 weighted even more so than in previous years. The group expects sales for 25 to be heavily second half weighted. This is due to a large number of planned product rollouts to additional stores in H2 as previously announced. Together with a significant Christmas order book, there continues to be substantial growth opportunities for Warpaint. And the group is very well positioned to achieve further growth with additional improvement in margins. That's very interesting. So store rollouts, Christmas, and the margins are getting better. So this is taken from their 2024 results released on the 29th of April 2025. They say continuing brand sales momentum expected in 25, both internationally, the UK, including Italy. So Togota is launching a range of products in 200 stores, with the capsule collection going into an additional 400 stores. Netherlands. Ethos is expected to expand its product assortment to all 540 stores with a permanent fixture and enhanced range in selected stores. UK. Superdrug rolling out W7 into 140 new stores and travel-sized products in all stores, that's 830, from June 2025. Tesco have confirmed 150 store expansion of the group's W7 Impulse offering during 2025. They already have products in about 1,400 Tesco stores already. Boots taking gifting products for the first time for Christmas 2025 to be stocked in 350 stores and accessories going into 250 stores. Morrison's Technic brand was successfully launched with a range of products into Morrison's. They have 1,600 stores across the UK. Let's look at the US. CVS expanding the W7 range stocked and rollout a further 399 stores with CVS from August 2025, taking the number of CVS stores stocking group's products to 918. Walmart, this is a big one. Significant order received from Walmart. They have 10,771 stores, and this is for their Chit Chat product. And W7. Five Below, significant expansion with Five Below, 1,605 stores. And then talks with other large retailers in Europe, the UK and the US stock the group's product. That's an additional 3,590 stores by my maths. So you can excuse me, I suppose, saying the financial year 25 will be H2 weighted. That's a huge rollout. So let's look at where they are, where they exist. The UK, in 24 revenue was 35 million, up 8%. The UK accounts for 34% of group revenue in 24. In Europe, they say since 2022, continental Europe has been the largest sales area for the group, Revenue increased by 22% to 54.7 million, and they accounted for 54% of overall group sales. The largest markets for the group's brands in continental Europe are Spain, Denmark, Netherlands, Sweden, but with an increasing presence in many other countries in the region. Europe continues to present growth opportunities both with existing and new customers, and particularly in countries where the group currently has more limited presence, such as Germany, which was 80 million population, and Italy, a bit less, but still around equivalent to the UK. Let's look at the US. This is a big market, and this for a long time has been where all the hope's been pinned for super growth. So revenue from the US increased by 19% to 8.7 million. It was 22% in dollar terms, because the dollar weakened against the pound. So this equated to 8.5% of overall group sales. So still quite a small segment of group sales, but the market is huge. So the next set of results, I said, is on 16th and 17th December. Expecting this kind of revenue, 50 to 52. They did say, by the way, in its statement, which knocked the share price, has been impacted by a slowdown in its US business. Now, I've got to point out this is not because of the product. A modest proportion of the group sales, 8.5%, following the imposition of higher tariffs. So it wasn't down to the product or the logistics. It's pretty much about tariffs. In fact, it was logistics, but it's not down to the company. So, however, they say the group sales overall are being achieved at a significantly higher margin than that achieved in 2024. So there's a negative there and a positive. And I think, that margin story is a longer-term story. And the short-term story, which, caught investors' eyes, was the slowdown in America. That's going to get resolved. Now, look at the margins here. The net margin for H1, 17.5%. If they achieve the lower end of the range, 50 million, the margin of 19%, it's profit of 9.5. That means for the full year, net profit is forecast 20 million. They only need to achieve 10.5 million in H2 to hit forecasts. I think that's very achievable when you consider the rollout's happening plus Christmas. Now, in fact, they could easily achieve, I think, this could be a year where they beat expectations. And they've done this many times in the past. I think there's a low ball forecast, to be honest, and I think they will beat it. Plus, 2025 is just the start of their improvement. Growth forecasts. This is for 25, 18% to 120 million. 26, 138.1 million, that's growth of 15%. And in 2027, 155.1 million. And these are still very conservative. So that's net profit of 20 million for 25, 24 million for 26, and 28.4 for 27. Valuation forecasts. So they're literally on a PE of 13, and EV earnings of 12. And there's dips, of course, if they stay where they are share price-wise, 11 and 10, 9 and 8. So this is good value now for double-digit growth across 3 years, and literally low single-digit PE. Forecast valuation on a PE of 20, this should be like upside of 55% for 25, 85% for 26, and 120% for 2027. So I'm going to look at the forecast for 2030, okay? I've taken this out, I've extrapolated it. Now, this is a low estimate. This is assuming UK, Europe, US, and online grow by 10%, all of them, right? The actual growth was 8% for UK, Europe 21.29%, US 19%, online growth for 35%. So it's a very conservative forecast. The share price would be $7.97, 150% upside. That's the lowest, if they miss estimates pretty much, I think that's where it would be. That's a low ball. Middle estimate, let's say UK growth is 10%. Europe, US, and online is 15%. Now, again, remember, it's still below what it did last year. Okay? 2030, 961 a share, 202% upside. That would mean revenue from the US of 20 million. So let's look at the US, because that's very low. It's a substantial growth opportunity. This is the market. In the UK, it's worth 1.8 billion. America's 10 times as big. Now, they did 35 million of revenue in the UK in 2024. If they can scale to the equivalent in America, that's 350 million. And the UK is still growing. 350 million in the US alone. Now, the issue with the US, they manufacture in China, W7. They have 25 factories globally. Now, in Q2, if you remember, the market sold off because of Trump's tariffs. They went crazy. The markets all sold off because Trump started ramping up tariffs. And this caused, widespread uncertainty and disruption among supply chains. Just a reminder, Trump got into a spat with the Chinese, and he raised tariffs to 145%, which is nuts. While the Chinese tariffs on goods rose to 125%. So effectively, it stopped all import-export, China and US. Now, this has settled down. They've brought them down. But Chinese tariffs to export into America are still relatively high compared to the rest of the world. If you look at them, China's about 30%. United Kingdom is 10%. And Turkey, which they have a manufacturing base there as well, is 15%. And in fact, Europe's 15% as well. So they did say in 2024, the group continues to investigate new manufacturing partners, particularly outside of China, to ensure the diversity of supply and to mitigate, as far as possible, the effects of tariffs increasingly being implemented, particularly in the US, on Chinese manufactured products. So this suggests to me they will be looking at manufacturing, either in Europe or the UK, to export to America. Remember, though, they're still doing very well in Europe, UK online. And as yet, the US is just 8.5% of group revenue. So while it's not significant at the moment, it could be very significant. And so they have to overcome this hurdle of where to manufacture from to export to America. So you think, well, how easy is it to set up, a new manufacturing facility? I was watching a video interview. It's worth doing this. I'll put this on the link below, actually, on the video. Business Sam Bazzini, the CEO, suggests it's relatively easy to use 25 plus factories across different countries, and they're very flexible in what they can manufacture. So the flexibility is the key, and they've got different outlets they can approach to import to America. So it's not difficult. They've been doing this for many years. It's just basically it's another challenge that's part of being a fast-growing business. And when you start a business, it's full of challenges. And it's how you overcome these. In 2022, W7 and Warpaint started with one black pencil, one mascara, and one lip gloss, selling in one country. Now, they're selling hundreds of products, supplying 49,000 stores just in the UK, Europe, and the US. They also do the rest of the world, but it's not a prime focus. They've gone from revenue of 1 million in 2006 to 120 million in 2025. The challenge for scaling a company like this are multifold. From recruitment to logistics to getting their product into the right stores, you could easily argue, and I think it's a correct argument, the real hard work has been done. Scaling from a tiny little company, it created a product that was only stocked by, in fact, they started selling it originally in market stalls. They went to discounters, and then they're currently now in most of the major retailers across the world. So getting your product onto the shelves of the world's biggest retailers is probably one of the biggest challenges of all. They've done that. That's done. Every retailer, by the way, that has trialled Warpaint's products have expanded the offering. Why? Quite simple. Because it sells well. Why does it sell well? Because it's very good quality at an affordable price. It's about the product, which is a direct result of quality management. I don't think it's a question of will they crack America, because they've done it. It's more a question of how big can they get in America. Now, this is the upper growth estimate, okay? Let's say UK grows by 10%, 2030 on average, Europe and online grow by 20%, and US becomes equal to the market penetration they have in the UK, which is about 350 million in the US, 35 million in the UK. This is the upper estimate, assuming they do this. The share price will be £25.25. That's a 694% upside. But hang on a sec. This is on a PE of 20. If they did grow at this rate, the PE would probably expand to 25 plus. So on a PE of 25, which previously, by the way, when the share price has gone up from 2022 to 24, they got a PE of 50. If they did do a PE of 25, then the share price would be, by 2030, £31.56. That's 892% upside. Hang on a sec. That's for the stable net profit margin. Their margins have been growing. So the upside could be even bigger. In summary, Warpaint have growth, they have margin expansion, they've got good value at the moment, they have a healthy balance sheet. Cash balances at the 10th of June totaled 15.8 million. They had no debt. Plus, they pay a dividend of 3.44% at 3.20 a share. They also have an experienced founder owners who hold a significant amount of shares. This is Ian McLeod, MD, holds 19.8%, and Sam Bazzini, also CEO, holds 19.8%. Now, the stories behind these are inspiring. Sam, leaving school at 16, started work in a cosmetics warehouse, supplementing his income by selling cosmetics directly to the public at numerous London street markets, which gave Sam an invaluable insight into consumer needs. In 1981, at the age of 18, using 500 quid, he set up his own business buying and selling close-out and end-of-line cosmetics. This is very interesting. During the course of the next 10 years, Sam and Ian's path crossed on numerous occasions. And in 1992, they set up their own business. And Ian's story is very similar. He started at the age of 14 on a Saturday job at an indoor market selling cosmetics and perfumes. After leaving college, Ian decided to set up his own business selling fragrances directly to the public through London street markets. And again, he passed Sam several times, and they got together and formed this business. And the rest is pretty much history. Now, do I think this company will go back to previous highs? Absolutely. These guys are two smart London guys who've worked very hard. They've overcome many challenges of scaling, getting the right product, expanding into different countries, and also the business is getting more efficient. It's hitting record revenues, record profits, and they're owner-operators. Of course, they want to get back to highs and go past that. So I have complete faith in these guys to do this. So I'm pretty biased. I own some shares, but please do your own research. There's an important date coming up, 16th, 17th. Not so much in the revenue and all that, because we know about that, but more the outlook in how the rollouts are progressing. I think is more important. But I think it's a business, a quality business, run by two sharp, hard-working operators that have skin in the game that's worth paying attention to. As a reminder, there continues to be substantial growth opportunities for Warpaint. Thanks for watching.